What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Geo Journeys. We're on our way to Dolores, Colorado. We just left Cortez, Colorado. Stopped by Eli Tomac's ranch and gave him a few pointers. And hopefully he'll work on those over the next few months. And if the outdoor motocross season begins, we'll put him into good use. Nobody will be able to stop him. We got a little Queensryche playing in the background. I talked to Cass a few minutes ago. Everything is going well at home. The weather has sucked. Rainy, cloudy. So she's not too happy. I put it out there that maybe she can join me in one of these little video sessions. And she said she might do that. So that would be interesting. She's the most outgoing person I've ever met. She can make friends with anyone, and does. I'll sit there in the corner at a party, and she'll be making the rounds, get to know everyone's business. But it surprised me a little bit when she said she would. She's really not into that sort of thing. And before I started motovlogging, I would practice, do trial runs when she and I would be on the road. And I would ask her to participate, and she would be very hesitant. But yeah, we might make that happen eventually. So the cloudy coverage continues. We're heading up into the mountains towards Telluride, and hopefully the weather will stay just like it is. We don't need any wetness. Got a nice little river running right by the road, right next to it. I like that. It beats those 1,000-foot sheer cliffs. So I think I'm evaluating this road, and the road we just came off of, 160. This one has already started to be better than 160. This one is 145. But so I would place this one fourth, and then 165th. That's my top 5 right now. We got the $1 Million Highway. We've got 14. We've got 9, 145, and 160. So it shouldn't be too hard to beat 160. Now, having said all that, it's all relative. This would be a killer road back home. There's an area in central Indiana, from central to southern Indiana, that's hilly and a lot of twisty roads. And those are fun to ride. I've gotten lost out there a few times, just picking a road and going at it. Sometimes you run into some gravel roads though. They're not marked very well. So yeah, this could be like a top 3 back home. So the fact that I'm crapping on these roads does not mean they're not good. It's just all relative. So you can notice Boyd looking around. Boyd is a two-time world champion archer. Traveled to Australia and competed with an American team, and it took home the gold, brought home the gold. And his record in competition is incredible. I don't recall it off the top of my head, but dominant would be a loosely used term for his accomplishments. And likewise, he's an avid game hunter. So you'll see him bobbing his head, looking for signs of animals. He doesn't look for the animal, he looks for signs. A tail, an ear, a head. Yes, even at these speeds, I've seen him spot antelope from very far away. A mile maybe. He just looks at the surroundings, surveys them, and says that's where they would like to hang out. And so invariably he finds them. I've seen the man call a moose. We were parked at the side of the road, taking a little break, and he heard the grunt of a moose or an elk or something. And so he starts calling it. And I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, right, dude. There's nothing like that around here. He goes, yeah, they're close, you just can't see it. And lo and behold, the damn thing starts replying to him. Good God, I can't even call my kids to come to dinner. And he's out in the wild calling moose. Or elk. I think it was moose. But yeah, it's a cool experience. He's got trail cam set up in his hunting grounds in Oregon. And he showed me a picture of a cougar that was caught on one of his trail cams. Pictures of big bucks and all kinds of cool things. I've done a little deer shooting. I should say hunting, because I've never shot a deer. I've done a little bit of deer hunting. I've been more successful hunting rabbits and chicken wings at the local Kroger's, but I enjoy it. But it's one of those things where if you really don't know what you're doing, it could be a whole waste of time. My father wasn't a hunter, and no one I knew growing up was a hunter, so no one took me under their wing and showed me the ins and outs of hunting. I would love to plan a big hunt for elk or something with him. Go out west up in the mountains and just watch him in action. Follow his movements, follow his directions, and just learn, soak it all in. Let's pan this thing around and pull down the shield, which I forgot to do. My apologies. There's a good day at the farm, just laying down, relaxing. See, I spotted that game, didn't I? Big old cow sitting there. Haven't seen much wild game here. We did see a buffalo. It was very, very, very tan. I thought it was a cow at first. When I did a second take, I saw the big hump, and Boyd confirmed it later. And we've seen a couple deer, but other than that, nothing. So since the scenery around us isn't that good, let me shut this down and try a different view for a little different perspective. Tapping out. I will check you in a minute. Alright, I'm back. Not as low as I wanted it to go, but without stopping, it's about all I'm gonna get, I think. There it is, way up there, way up ahead. I'm gonna catch him. Did get up to 85 today, mph. Lagged back a little bit, and then gave it a little Ricky Bobby, catch up to him. Probably gonna drop this damn thing, messing around with it. I wonder how much water actually flows through these little rivers. Right now there's a steady flow, but a lot of rocks are showing. I imagine when the snow melts, they're flowing really well. Whew. This is a nice little area right here. Let's see what it comes down to. So both of these guys are retired. Newly retired for Boyd. So they can say, hell, let's stay out here for another month. And it'd be possible for them. I took off for 2 weeks and gave myself 3 extra days in case I want to take a more scenic route home. Last time I went through Kansas and it was miserable. It was hot, windy, boring, hot, windy, and boring. At one point, I came down to about 2 miles left to go on a tank of gas. I thought I was going to be huffing it, but thankfully I made it, and I didn't make that mistake again. I'm always one to push it just a little further. I was talking to Ernie the other day. He likes, as soon as he gets 3/4, he's pulling over. If he's riding alone at half tank, he's pulling over, which makes sense, but it's not me. Love these little meandering creeks, or is it cricks? I don't know what it is on these parts. Well, let me tap out here for a minute, and I'll catch y'all later. Alright, that's a little more horizontal. Let's see how that looks around these turns. I'm picturing a certain point of view, but I would have to go much lower for that. The mount I have by my Erica lights would be a lot better for that view. Just a lot of experimentation. You guys let me know what you'd like. Sometimes what I have pictured in my mind is not as good when it shows up on the screen. 72 degrees, it's dropping as we're gaining altitude. Spoke with Max at Traction Dynamics, and we talked about tire pressures. His recommendation is to get it low enough where the TPMS light comes on, and then you ride for a mile or two and it goes off. Better traction, that's obvious, more contact patch, and more comfort. I could see those 2 points. What I would worry about, and I didn't reply or ask him this question, is the tire temperature. I'm under the impression that the lower the pressure, the higher the temperature of the tire, especially when you're carrying 2 up and loaded down with baggage. Not that I'm calling my wife baggage, but what I meant was my wife and our baggage. And then the other concern would be longevity. I would think less air in a tire would wear out the tire faster. But since we're only talking 3 or 4 pounds, maybe it's not a big difference. Right now I run 41 in the back and 38 in the front. He's set to go about 34 to 36 to 38 in the back. 34 to 36 in the front, 36 to 38 in the back. The most mileage I got out of a pair of tires was about 7,000 miles. The bike came with Dunlops, and at around 7,000, maybe 8, got a flat tire. And then I went to Bridgestones, and around 4,000, maybe 5,000 at the most, I got another blowout on the rear. So everyone's been saying to get more mileage out of Bridgestone, so I've got a new set now, and we'll see what happens. Haven't had much luck with tires on this bike. The 2 long distance trips my wife and I took, excluding the one to Georgia, we got blowouts. Can't say enough good things about Schroeder's Honda. I think it's Hendersonville, North Carolina. High volume Goldwing sales. He told me a little story where his grandfather accidentally wrote the wrong numbers down. They were trying to get these Honda trail bikes or something like that. Instead they got like 20 or 25 Goldwings. And he said, what the hell am I gonna do with these? There's no way I'll sell them. So they dropped the price and moved him out the door. He was one of the lowest priced Honda Goldwing salesmen in the state, maybe. And I believe he was one of the first high volume Goldwing sales people. That was a pretty cool story.